When should you have the sex talk with your kids? According to clinical psychologist Dr. Bobbi Wegner, the average age that parents are having the conversation with their child is when they're 12, and that is years too late.
Yeah, the parenting expert, who has 3 kids of her own, has released a new guide that offers tips on how to talk about sex without feeling embarrassed and raise the issue of consent no matter their age.
Harvard parenting expert Bobbi Wegner joins us now from Boston, Massachusetts. Morning to you. If 12 is too late, what age is appropriate to start talking about sex and consent?
Thanks, Natalie. Well, the way to think about this is really many conversations, not one conversation. So there are different things you say at different ages and at different times. So when kids are really little, you start naming the anatomical parts with appropriate names, just mainly to get the parent comfortable and to get the child comfortable. And then as kids grow up and they start to, explore themselves and they have questions, it's really the parent's job to follow their lead and to just be curious about what they're seeing, what they're thinking, and try to do it without shame or judgment. So it's really starting from when the kid's, kind of born, all the way throughout the lifespan, truly.
And I suppose it's keeping language appropriate to the child, isn't it? And it doesn't have to be the full-on birds and the bees. It can be just using experiences and observations.
Yeah, that's really an important observation. So it's really just following the lead of the child. So understanding a little bit about child development goes a long way here for parents. So knowing where the child is, knowing sort of what they might be thinking about or what their curiosity is, and then getting over your own discomfort as a parent to just bring it up. The message you really want to send is that I'm okay with this. I understand this. I'm not trying to shame you. I just want to help you understand yourself. And this is a normal part of human development. So it's not sitting down to say, this is where you've come from, at all moments, at all times. But it's helping the child or the boy just start to get comfortable with his own identity first and foremost, and part of that is sexual development and sexual identity.
On the issue of consent, we've had a campaigner here, a young girl who has campaigned for consent to be taught earlier in schools than it currently is, which is about year 9. There has been a lot of pushback from parents about that. What do you say to that issue?
When we're in uncharted territory as parents, we rely on what we call our default parenting map. So what that means is that we bring our prior experiences from what we know from our families to our parenting relationship. So for me, I grew up pretty conservative, Irish Catholic, and now I have these 3 kids, 2 boys, a girl, and the world they're living in is just different than the world I lived in when I was their age. My boys are 10 and they're 12, and they're on TikTok and they're on YouTube, and I didn't have those things. So it's sort of a different landscape, and as a parent, you have to kind of acknowledge that and realize there's a different way to kind of talk to your child about this than what we learned from where we're growing up.
Yeah. Is it different talking to girls and boys? Do you take a different approach?
I think first and foremost, this is really just about self-awareness. So noticing your impact on other people and having some awareness of what you bring to the world. So for me, I'm raising 2 kind of middle upper class white boys and, kind of middle class to upper class community that has a lot of privilege. And I need my boys to know that, because the message they get is that the world is theirs for their taking in some ways. And, so the way I'm talking to them is slightly different than the way I'm talking to my daughter. But on the other hand, it's really about raising awareness and then having them look outside of themselves to build empathy for other people. So that really remains whether or not it's boy, girl, or whatever gender.
Yeah, it is a fascinating topic. Bobbi, thank you for your time this morning.